as you can see, you keep heading up and it just gets to a lot of fields. There's stuff over here. There's a playground down here. I think there's a school or something over here. Maybe it's a university. There's another field over here, and that's where I'm going. And if you notice, there's like a ton of these little side trails that really don't go anywhere. There's a street over there. You can see the houses and stuff. It's just not interesting. I see tree line over this direction, which if there's no trails, I could possibly make a trail. But the common thing on these trails, you just see beer cans and nip bottles everywhere. I mean, that's what I was doing in Great Barrington. But you see a lot of clothes, a hoodie, a pair of pants, socks, a lot of socks, which they're just hanging, no hats or anything. I saw a backpack. Down back a little bit, there's a mattress in the middle of the woods. I don't know how someone got it there. There's another trail over here, but it's not like there's a lot of rivers or. And then there's a garden, which is odd. There we go. Now, see, the feeling comes back again. There's what I call is unnatural like and unnatural fear of, which unnatural fear of is called a phobia. And unnatural like is called philia. So I have agoraphilia, which to some people is frightening as hell. So right now, the open field, all you hear is a bird. You hear, squirrels and chipmunks in the woods and stuff. But I know that there's no one is around to see me. Oh, there's two people up ahead. But like agoraphobia is the unnatural fear of being out in the open. Specifically, there's another one where it's social anxiety partial to agoraphobia, where you don't like being in areas where there's a lot of, like, not even a lot of people, just a few people out in the open. So this would scare someone to death. They would start thinking of fears. So you see the clouds and stuff. It will rain a little bit later. I have plenty of time to get back. I looked at the radar. Or the unknowing of what's in the woods. They think, oh, there's probably an animal out to get me, or there might be an earthquake, and what do I do? Or any other fear that it would start populating. So they run back inside. Which, being inside is no different than being outside. You're just sheltered. I get the other one. It's not really claustrophobia specifically. I could just be inside. But if I can't open a window, or if I can't just walk outside freely, I start to panic. I can't just, if something happens inside and I'm trapped, that's the auto-population of the fears inside. If I'm alone in the basement, whatever, I don't have that fear. But if I'm just inside and I just cannot go outside, or if I can't even just open a window, I get anxious to just want to leave. Damn, this is long. Crap. Yeah, CSS, they took my lighter, and they never give it back. It's always my favorite Lucky lighter, the red Bic lighter. And it's just a habit that I always have it in my pocket. And every time I check, like when I go to sleep, or when I go to the bathroom, or whenever I leave a house to go outside, I always check the pockets. So wallet in the back, cell phone in the back, keys in the front, right. Oh, there's another trail. and then to the left is always the lighter. And then when I miss it, I'm like, oh crap. So this is from California. Bevmo was that chain of liquor stores I was telling you. See, I can't light it with one hand. That sucks. Mainly they're going out faster because I'm not smoking them as often. Maybe with a go-kart or like a golf cart this would be fun because it's not a lot of hills, but there's nothing out here. I'm not even really sure why the hell these trails are. Because then there's one that goes that way. This one just loops around. Then there's this whole open field. I mean, it must be annoying to mow if no one's ever up here, but because it's not like a jogging trail. It's not a hiking trail either. It's just a trail, and this is wide enough for like a vehicle. Neither is it a four-wheeler trail. But there's markers everywhere. And it looks like, yeah, I can see a street up ahead. If I keep going straight over there, and then it just ends. So I used to like coming up like to trails like this and shooting a BB gun, or when I was drinking to drink. And then you see people like that trying to bike around. You can't bike on these trails. It's all grass. And when you get down to the other spot, you're either going downhill, then you have to go uphill again, or it's just a lot of uneven terrain, roots and rocks and then of course you notice the rule that took into place, the reason I'm not wearing a mask, and I'll explain, it said you're supposed to wear a mask in public and you could get up to a $300 fine. That all depends on the situation, but it's almost a law for anything in a business. So if you go into business, you have to wear a mask. If you're not wearing a mask, you're not being served. If you refuse to leave, then you could be charged. See, the news isn't really specifying that rule itself. So I'm walking around, and there's a couple on a trail with masks on. Look, I mean, there's a couple people way up ahead, but that's over 300 feet away. They're walking around by themselves, jogging or biking or in a car by themselves with a mask on. That's not public. The word public is anywhere where people congregate, often, inside of local businesses, or where a lot of people can, so even if there was more people on this trail, that's still not public. This is not public. This is public property, privately owned by the city, by the state, but this isn't in public. Because, what? So I'm just going to have to put the mask on only when I walk by someone? Exactly. There's no police up here. They're not patrolling. They're patrolling inside businesses. So I could walk down the sidewalk all day, and that's still not, it is public, but it's not like Main Street. If I were to walk Main Street, that's public. If I were to walk around a parking lot of Big Y, that's public. People just mix it up a lot. Yeah, and then we have houses up ahead. I don't know, I was hoping to find like an old foundation or something, and it is just woods. There's nothing else here. There's no marking on the trees or anything.